surged to a new record. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York reports Americans' credit card debt hit $1.1 trillion at the end of June. That's a $27 billion increase from the previous quarter. According to TransUnion, the average balance is up nearly 5% year over year, sitting at more than $6,300. Rising food costs, auto prices, and housing rates have affected budgets for many households. An Urban Institute report shows 60% of consumers used credit cards to buy groceries last year. And joining us now for more insight is Jason Matthews from Matthews Financial and Insurance Solutions. Jason, welcome back. We're just talking off the air. Everything is higher. There's not one thing that's higher. Everything is higher.
Everything is a lot higher.
So how do you, in this world, cut back? Because if you say food is higher, okay, well, we can look for cheaper options. But how do you start making a budget that reflects these new realities?
Yeah, great point. So yes, so it's like everything has went up, so you have to reassess every category and what that is. So for instance, food. If you buy all your food at Whole Foods, you might want to cut back and only buy certain things you really like at Whole Foods and go to a cheaper grocery store. With all your insurances, with your auto insurance, we talked about those rates. Maybe you go back to your auto, shop around for your auto insurance. Maybe you're going to have to increase your deductible. So if right now you have a $500 deductible, now you raise it up to $1,000 or $2,000 deductible. You look at how you can cut back on every single item where you can still have that item, but you might have to figure out how to make it cheaper for you for your monthly base.
What have Americans done in the past? Because this isn't the first time we've had inflation like this. We've had other periods here and there over the last few decades, right? What did they do in the past, and how do we come out of it?
Yeah, so what people did in the past was they really bootstrapped themselves out of this. They got more creative. So you've seen families, you have multi-generational families, all live in one house. You have that person who worked at the factory or worked with their hands at the factory, might have had a side job as a handyman or somewhere, or the mom might have been a housekeeper. But people usually have multiple jobs to make it happen, so they can start saving and start paying all those expensive bills.
Credit card debt. So if you are running a credit card debt, what is the average, monthly finance charge for? Let's say I have $100 on my credit card that I'm financing. How much is the interest rate?
Right now, the average interest rate is about 25 to 28% on a credit card.
So
We've seen up to 30. Yeah. So that's a huge amount. And then a lot of people right now, they say, hey, I've been having all this credit card debt. Now it's getting mismanaged now, or it's getting too tight where I cannot pay it off every month. And when that happens, what I always tell people is call your credit card company. Ask them what they're want to do, because they do not want to write off all that bad debt, because you're not the only one in those situations right now.
So they're willing to work with you a little bit because everyone else is kind of in that situation. Now, obviously, sometimes people don't have the money and they have to borrow. Borrowing from credit card, is that the only way people can do it, or is there another way to do it?
Yeah, so there's other ways to do it. So what I always tell people is what you want to do is look at your balance sheet, look at everything you have. Maybe you have some of your investments. Maybe you have your home equity. Look at possibly doing a HELOC loan, do a loan against your investments that you have at Charles Schwab or somewhere else. Maybe look at personal line of credit. Those other lines are going to be cheaper because it's a secure loan compared to getting a credit card, which is unsecured, which is going to cost you a lot more.
So when people come to you and say, hey, Jason, I have too much debt. I really need to get a hold of this. Can you help me? And you can, right?
Right. Yeah, definitely. So what we do is, yes, we could definitely help. So we tell people is what you need to first do is grab every single thing that you have. Look at all your checking accounts, your savings account, all your credit card statements. Start itemizing what's every single thing you have. And usually that's the tough thing. And people are like, you know what? I spent way too much on this one item or not, or I need to cut back here. It's a tough thing for a lot of people to do. But once they do that part, then we can go back and start putting together a strategy on how we can pay down that debt, what we're going to do, and what changes we need to make and adjustments.
Sometimes just coming to a professional, you can kind of talk them off a ledge, so to speak, right?
Exactly. And that's what you need, that third person. It's like going to the gym, right? You go to the gym, you might not work as hard, you might say, or you might not even make it, like a friend of mine this morning, but when you have a trainer, they're going to make sure you push you to get to the next level, and that's exactly why you go to a professional to help you out.
All right, you made me feel better. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
All right, Jason Matthews, Jason Financial Services. Thank you for Matthews Financial Services. Thank you for joining us. Coming up on Mornings on Tuesday.